Hi everybody. So today we're going to be looking at another great diet that's going to help you to lose fat fast. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned before, the diet that we're going to look at today is something that pro bodybuilders use to get the best results they can ready for their competition. So clearly it's going to be a highly effective diet. And this is really going to work for you because it's based on science. It's carb cycling. You may have heard of it before, or carb manipulation. So what is the diet? Well, the diet is that the first day you have a low amount of carbs, then you have a medium amount of carbs, and then on the third day, you have a high amount of carbs. Simple, right? Well, it is. But you have to look at other aspects of it too. So what do we do on those 3 days? Well, the first day is the low amount of carbs. Now, on that day, we want to make sure that we're having a high amount of protein as well. How much protein should we have? Well, it's good to have at least 1 to 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So if you weigh 60 kilos, then you need to have between 60 grams to 120 grams of protein each day, especially on that first day. As we go into the medium day, it's the same, and we want to keep it consistent, but it's not as important because you're getting a source of energy from those carbs. And especially on the high carb day, it doesn't matter as much, but we still want to keep it consistent throughout the 3 days. Now we can have chicken, other meats, vegetables like broccoli is a great source of protein, has gram for gram more protein in it than steak, and is a great way to get in your micronutrients as well. So what else do we do on these 3 days? Well, if we want to get even better results, we want to do some form of exercise or training. So what sort of exercise or training do we do? Well, HIIT training, high intensity interval training, is one that is great for burning fat. Now, you can use that every day or 4, 5, 6 days a week, and you'll get good results. My recommendation is to do weight training though, heavy weight training, strength training. Now, strength training is from 1 to 5 reps of a very heavy weight with long rests in between, such as 4 minutes. Now, the reason for this choice or recommendation of heavy training is the benefits that it has both in relation to carbohydrate intake, but also muscular wise. Now, when you do strength training, you gain muscle. Now, when you gain muscle, you then burn more fat effectively and over a period of time. So you'll continue to burn more and more fat the stronger you get, the more muscle you build. Now, if you're a woman, you're probably thinking, well, I don't want to get big and bulky. I don't want to have really big muscles. It won't work like that. And I can tell you that now. And the reason I can tell you that now is because it takes a few things for you to get big muscles. For women, it takes a very high testosterone level, and it takes hours and hours of training a day. And that's why the elite athletes have this muscular physique, is because they increase their testosterone level and also train 5 to 6 hours a day. Whereas men, they will naturally gain more muscle and bigger muscles as time goes on. But you women, you still want to increase your muscle size slightly and reduce that fat, because that's what gives you that toned look that you want. It's not by doing 15 to 20 reps of an exercise. By doing strength training, you will get that look much faster, and it will be a much better look than what you can get in any other way of training. Now, if you want more advice about how not to get bulky or why you won't get bulky, then click the link in the description. My blog post about why women should strength train and answer to the question, will I get bulky, is written down for you there. and it's clear to see that you won't. So I can promise you that now. So there are other benefits of strength training as well with this type of dieting. Now, as we say, pro bodybuilders use it and they're trying to get big. But if we use strength training, after strength training, heavy weights, for about an hour or two after, the body doesn't store fat. So this is an optimal time to have the most amount of your carbohydrates for the day, especially on that high carbohydrate day. So the carbohydrates you take in after that training session will then be used in your muscles. The protein will help repair the fibers. The carbohydrates will help the muscle grow and get slightly bigger and have more energy and ready. They'll also give you the energy for that next day, which is going to be that low carbohydrate day. So you can still train, such as HIIT training or strength training, but just be careful if you do strength training on that low carbohydrate day. You may not be able to do as much as you have been on the other days. So what sort of things should we eat? What type of carbs and protein? Well, as we mentioned with the protein, poultry and other meats and veg are great, but with carbohydrates you can have rice, and white rice is slightly better after strength training. You've got pasta and potatoes, sweet potatoes and things like that. Now, what about treats? Well, as you probably know or guess, bodybuilders, they're very disciplined and wouldn't have any of these kind of sugary treats leading up to their competition because of the extra water and things like that would come with it. But can you? Well, the answer is yes, but the stricter you are with this diet, the better the results you get will be. So if you want to be really controlled for 4 weeks, then you'll get great results. Perhaps it might take 6 weeks to get the same results if you have a treat a week or something like that. But do your best to limit the amount of treats you have during that week. Have them after a heavy weightlifting session if you are going to have them, because that will have the least effect. And just make sure that you're not going past your limit of the day by having that treat. If you are, then it's not worth it. Stick to the guidelines you set yourself. So if I was to give an example of a 65 kilo person doing this diet, then I would say the low carbohydrate day, they have 45 grams of carbs, then they have 90 grams of carbs, and then 120 grams on the high day. Now, this will depend much on you, so just play around with it and see how it feels. If you feel sluggish the whole time, then slightly increase your carbohydrates in each day, or especially on the low carb day, but don't do them too much that you feel so energetic. If you do feel too full on the high carb day, then slightly lower the amount of carbs you have. But just like the protein, with fat, we want to keep that consistent and still have a source of fat coming in, but we want to have that between 30 to 45 grams of fat per day for someone who weighs 60 kilograms. So we can think about that in different terms. If you weigh 80 kilos, then maybe you're having 55 to 85 grams of fat a day. So we just have to think how it relates to you. And obviously I can't give you an exact amount for your personal build and body composition because I don't know what that is. So play around with it. It will work for you. It works for thousands of people. It's worked for me. It works for pro bodybuilders. So what do you do now? Well, take the before picture and get started straight on this diet. Plan how many carbohydrates you're going to have each day and keep cycling through them. Limit your treats. And then after a month, take another picture. This is a great way to see what results you've got, because from day to day, you won't be able to see the results that you're getting. Other people may be able to, but you're not going to be able to see them. So take before and after pictures. Once you've finished with this diet and got the results you want, Post them on Facebook, post them on Instagram. Tag Ultimate Body Hype in that picture, because we'd love to see you and see how you've done with this diet. Now, we have got one more part to this series, what is the best diet? And this next diet will definitely work for you, and it's the diet that's going to give you the best results. So make sure you like and subscribe this video, but also click that bell notification so you can be told when we've uploaded that final video that's going to give you the ultimate diet as to how to lose fat. See you then.